You guys guessed it. My dick very hard. Boy, did I love all of that. Yes, I love this.
Stomping anybody, so make your choice right. Select to make your first pick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Choose and pick the best one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So I want to start the video off saying that Big Mom is an actual dumbass. She uses lightning on Luffy and continues to ask, wait a minute, why didn't that hurt you? And Luffy goes, cause I'm made of rubber. I'm just like, Big Mom, how are you an emperor, bro? Like, I just question, like, how do you know he's rubber. Why would you think lightning hurt? I'm confused. Anyways, this is my One Piece chapter 1002 review. It's gonna be a quick one because not much happens, but a lot happens. It's a very action heavy chapter, and boy did I love the action. You guys know the drill by now. Like, share, and subscribe, yada yada yada. Let's talk about the chapter. Oh man, this chapter is so good. It starts off with Kaido using his wind scythe that he used earlier on the scabbards. This time it has a name. It's called Destructive Wind. Law gets out of dodge. Kid doesn't really care. He just takes the hit. Kid doesn't care though because it's just junk and he can get more metal elsewhere. Zoro, on the other hand, completely deflects the wind scythe with his sword, showing just how much stronger he has gotten and how much more above he is compared to the rest of the scabbards, because as we've seen earlier, this wind scythe was able to damage the scabbards and was even able to cut off Kiku's arm, showing just how serious Zoro is. And then the monster trio, or well, the worst generation, go in to attack Kaido, all using their own methods of attack. Luffy using Kong rifle. I've always loved the rifle technique, and I'm glad to see a Kong version of that move, as it's one of Luffy's most powerful techniques. And Kid then grabs Kaido's head and slams him onto the ground, with Law using the gamma knife and zipping around on him, trying to locate his heart, with Kaido mentioning that they're all able to get through his defenses. Obviously, Law's Devil Fruit, Luffy with his Rio, and I guess Kid, I'm not exactly sure what Kid did to bypass Kaido's defenses, I guess, but it's still very impressive that Kid's slam was able to hurt Kaido, because we know that Kaido jumped off 10,000 feet in the air from a sky island and it barely did any damage, but now Kaido is saying that this was able to affect him. I gotta give these guys their flowers because they're definitely doing their thing right now against these emperors, most specifically Killer and Zoro, right hand men to future Pirate King candidates. But anyways, we get to probably my second favorite part of the chapter, and honestly the most interesting. Killer goes in to attack Kaido, and we see the most weirdest thing possible, where Killer states that I guess the only way to really damage Kaido is hitting him from the inside, and he's climbing up him, and he extends his scythe Punisher blades, pierces through Kaido's body while he's spinning them around. And to me, this was insane, because I don't know if Killer is actually piercing Kaido's skin. I doubt that, because if he was actually doing that, he would literally rip Kaido in half because of how deep these blades are going and they're spinning in a circle. But what it looks like to me is that Killer is spinning his blades so fast that it's actually phasing through Kaido's skin and hurting him from the inside, similar to Barry Allen from The Flash. If you read any DC comics or watch any of their films, you know what I mean by that, how Flash is able to go at such high speeds and vibrate at such a velocity that is able to phase through people and objects. Because if Killer was using brute force and cutting through his hide, he would have decapitated Kaido's head from their first encounter in the battle. Honestly, that sounds totally insane, but I think we need the anime to get more clarification. But to me, this is what it looks like, and that'd be a cool inspiration for Oda to really go this route if Killer's able to actually do this type of attack. Or somehow Killer is using sound waves to hurt Kaido. Either way, Oda is being really creative in this fight, having each person hurt Kaido in their own unique way that fits well with their personality and their repertoire. But most importantly, it shows that Rio isn't the end all or be all and the only way to damage Kaido, and they're learning that there are other effective ways to hurt Kaido, like hurting him from the inside. And honestly, this attack really fascinated me, and I guess I really been underestimating Killer. He is a person that we need to look out for when he recovers, because he then gets attacked by Big Mom, who's causing electricity flying through the air, using Zeus into the clouds, attacking everyone with her lightning. And we get to my favorite part of the chapter, and that is Zoro cutting a blast breath that was aimed at Luffy, and he goes in to attack Kaido. And I have not seen fear in a character's eyes like this, other than Zeke when he sees Levi from Attack on Titan, the fear of God was implanted in Kaido's eye. He was confused as to what just happened, as well as what's going on with Zoro and the sword and the aura emanating from that blade, as we see that Zoro is using Enma to cut the fire and also aiming to attack Kaido, with Big Mom yelling at Kaido to dodge, saying that's not your average sword, because she knows as that sword was also able to cut through Prometheus, someone that isn't able to take physical damage. And to me, this is crazy because having these emperors take note of Zoro and knowing how much of a threat he is, and having Big Mom yell to Kaido to dodge, someone who's known for being indestructible and having this impervious skin, is incredible, and I really love this moment. Zoro goes to use the move Flying Dragon Blade, the same move he used to cut down Ryu, and my god, Zoro swings for the fences. He misses Kaido, but he hits one of the horns of Onigashima, the skull, and the horn completely breaks off and it falls. This is insane because from where the battle is and where the horn is completely far away, and being able to cut something that large is incredible. But unfortunately, like I said, Zoro misses and he is wheezing because of course he's getting used to Enma and releasing its power, and we know that Enma sucks the haki and the power or energy from the user, and obviously Zoro is very tired because he used a lot of power from that sword. But something I like to take note of is that Kaido saw the aura emanating from the blade and he said that it was Odin's, and he was wondering why. So it seems as though Kaido has not recognized that is the same blade that Odin once used against him all those years ago. It's crazy how much PTSD Kaido suffers from the fight against Odin, but also how Odin's aura and haki is implanted into Enma. We know that Enma sucks up the haki of its user, so it probably has the haki of all of its previous users before Zoro, so obviously Odin's haki is permanently infused inside of Enma because of the many years Odin had used that blade. The most impressive part about this is that once Zoro is fully able to control Enma, he's going to be a devastating force of nature, with both emperors acknowledging Zoro and his threat. And I'm telling you, man, once the series is over, peak Zoro is going to be like top 5 strongest characters in the series. Probably 10, but I'm gonna say 5 because I'm a little bold. But unfortunately for Zoro, just like Killer before him, he was hit by Big Mom's attack as well as Law and Kid. Cool note that I kind of just realized that Big Mom's attacks are all named after gods: Shiva's Wrath, Indra, Prometheus, Zeus. I really dig that, and it's something I just didn't realize until now. Also, something I noticed, the lightning itself might be a homie, or it might be Zeus transferring his consciousness through the lightning and just going around and actually maneuvering manually instead of actual just random lightning hitting everyone. So that's really cool, and I really like Big Mom using her ability in this way. The chapter ends with Kaido hitting Luffy directly with a blast breath, similar to the scene in opening 22 over the top, but Luffy comes out a little damaged, tanking it, and he pummels Kaido into the ground with a Kong Gatling, with Luffy saying he was able to take that hit due to pure determination and guts as well as willpower. This is an incredible feat, as this move was able to vaporize a mountain. Some side notes before we end the video. I want to talk about Big Mom. She's interesting in this fight because she doesn't really feel like a main threat. Like, she obviously is causing a lot of hazards in this fight, and she is an emperor, but as I've noticed, everyone's attention is focused on Kaido and they're all hitting Kaido. Like, Big Mom will come in and try to attack, but they're like, ah, shit, we gotta dodge your attack. And then they go aim for Kaido, and it's kind of interesting that the fighters in this battle are treating Big Mom the way the community does, and more of a nuisance and not the main threat of this battle. She's kind of like a support character in a fighting game, you know, like Marvel vs. Capcom. You don't want to switch into her, you just use her for the support, and you never really want to play as her or switch into her. So I kind of find that a little funny and something I noticed during this battle. All jokes aside though, Big Mom really is a monster, is probably the biggest threat here, with her versatility, with her devil fruit, the hazards going around with the different elements and how she's controlling them. And these guys really need to keep an eye on her. And something else I noticed in the big panel shot with Onigashima with the horn slicing, there you can see once again the giant sword that we saw at the entrance, and in comparison that sword is magnificently huge. Like, it's almost the same size as the skull in that shot. And I'm expecting a lot of people expect Kid to use that blade sooner or later to attack Kaido, so I hope it gets played or put into effect, especially that we've seen that in that panel shot there. And as I mentioned in other videos, this arc is for the supernova to prove that they can go toe-to-toe with these monsters and that they will surpass the yonko and the older generation, proving that they can stand on their own 2 feet in the new world and in the pirate world, stamping their own legacy and creating history in the making. I'm fairly impressed with how well these guys are doing against 2 emperors at the same time, and this chapter really hypes up both sides and how powerful they are. All in all, I really love this chapter. This arc is getting better and better by the chapter. That is it. I hope you guys have a good day and a good night. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Toodle.